Let me even ask you this just before I let you go. It was reported at some point that you have actually, I mean, your arrest has actually been ordered by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, and that you're actually on the run.
I've never been on the run for the first time. I've challenged the Inspector General of Police or anybody. I've never been involved in any criminal case. I've never been wanted by anybody. That order was obtained by fraud, both by the police and the Attorney General. And that was the reason it was vacated within 2 days, because they failed to disclose the actual fact to the magistrate. So when we brought the actual fact to the magistrate of the existing order of the Federal High Court, he quickly vacated that. And besides, what did they accuse me of? They accused me of forgery of primary results. And who are the complainants? The complainants are the executive chairman, the chairman of the state ESCO, and other of his cohorts. Today it has been discovered that these people forged court documents. Notice of discontinuance purported to have been filed at the High Court 3, Anambra State, which they used in obtaining a judgment in FCT High Court, Abuja, here. The court is the complainant in this case. In the face of that notice of discontinuance, they forged the stamp of the High Court, they forged the signature of the ACR, they forged the assessment, they forged the revenue receipt, so many things. These are the same people who accused me of having forged the primary result they authored. So all those things were meant to scare me away, so that the mandate given to me by my people will be given to another person.
All right, so where do you go from here now that the court judgment, from going by the court judgment now, the Port Harcourt court judgment, where do you go from here? You're going to wait for the appeal filed by Mr. John Emeka. You're going to wait for the outcome?
No, the fact is that in the first place, I don't need a court order for me to be sworn in. From the Senate President down, there's no senator or member of House up to the councillorship that do not have one notice of appeal or the other. I do not need any order for me to be sworn in.
But you've still not been sworn in. You've still not been sworn in.
Because the leadership of the Senate have refused to do what they are supposed to do. I can show you here. This is my SS tag, clearance tag, issued to me before the inauguration. You can see it with my name. This also is the vouchers and the authority for hotel room to be allocated to me. All these things can only be accorded to you if only you have passed through clearance. And all these things was given to me after I had passed through all the necessary processes as regard to the registration before the inauguration. But
the fact is that you've still not been sworn in.
For me, that is absurd, like I've said in the past, is because the Senate leadership have refused to do what they are supposed to do. Apparently, someone somewhere is building a script.
So are you going back to court? Are you going back to court?
Well, I'm consulting with my lawyers and well-meaning Nigerians, and I'm also using this opportunity to call on Nigerians to come out and fight against this injustice. Today is Senator Ibweke, tomorrow it could be any other person.
All right.
And going by what is happening all over the world today, revolution, little thing can trigger such thing. I can't imagine myself, after I had passed through the primaries, the general election, certificate of return issued to me, backed with court judgment and an order, and yet the Senate leadership have refused to swear me in. You all know what happened in the past. when I spent 3 good years fighting to get back my stolen mandate. Even after the Court of Appeal, in line with Section 246, declared me the winner of that election, yet the Senate leadership refused to comply. And they came up again and introduced what is called interpretation. That took us another 2 months. And even after the 5 justices unanimously returned me again, they still refused. It took the outcry of Nigerians before the Senate.
Well, Senator Igbeke, I'm afraid we'll just have to end this discussion here. We wish you all the best, and we'll keep monitoring the situation, and you know, whatever happens, just let us know. But we'll continue to monitor this situation. We'll continue to monitor development in Anambra North Senatorial District. So let's just come back now to Lagos. Thank you very much, Senator Igbeke. Let's come back now to Lagos, where I'm now being joined right here in the studio by Mr. Clem Agoye, who is a spokesperson of Mr. John Emeka, the other candidate laying claim to the Anambra North Senatorial Seat. Thank you very much for coming on the program. You just had Senator Igbeke there laying claim to the same position that you know, your principal is laying claim to. Tell us exactly what did Mr. John Emeka actually win the primaries of the PDP in Anambra North?
Thank you, Deji. Senator Igbeke is one of the tragedy of our democracy, because when you have such characters that are supposed to be distinguished senators.
I'd want you to mellow down. We wouldn't want any kind of personal attack at all.
No, it's not a personal attack. This is democracy. This is issue concerning Nigerians. And it is time we begin to call a spade a spade. Senator Igbeke did not win the primary.
But he was a candidate in that election.
He was
in the primaries.
He was an aspirant.
Okay, he was an aspirant
in that very election. He was a contestant. There were 6 contestants. Igbeke was one of them. There was Oanze. There was Mecheta.
Mrs. Okadibo.
No. There was John Emeka. There were 6. Actually, there were 6 candidates. And out of these 6 candidates, 1,700 votes were casted. This very election was monitored by INEC. INEC sent 7 of their EOs, electoral officers, in the 7 local government areas.
But INEC eventually issued a certificate.
Excuse me, I'm coming. INEC, this election was monitored by INEC 7 EOs. They have their field reports. They have their documentation. It was organized by PDP, the same very PDP state ESCO that Igbeke is saying that is illegal, that they forged documents. Igbeke got 74 votes. John Emeka scored 1,156 votes. The person that even came second was 259 votes. That was Oranze. These were 6 contestants that contested this election. It is only Igbeke's own result sheet that is different from every other result sheet. These human beings are all alive. They can testify to the election they conducted. INEC has equally denied the fact that they did not certify the CTC. Igbeke is claiming that he got.
The certificate of return, you mean?
No, the certificate of return is different.
Oh, okay. What is CTC now?
Now, when Igbeke went to court, to Justice Kafarati court, he swore to an affidavit. He brought CTC. These are the CTCs.
Yeah.
This is it here. Igbeke said...
What is CTC now?
That INEC certified this thing to be the original copy of this.
No, I get, yeah.
Of which INEC has denied completely.
That's from the primary.
From the primary. This is what Igbeke doctored to lay claim to having won this very election. And then he forged this also, which is submission. Where he has his name now, Ogugu Okoye, Senator Igbeke, Dr. Andioba, that this was submitted. The party itself that has conducted this election has written to the police, written to INEC. This is false. This is forgery. The INEC in Oka, that is the original custodian of this very primary election, not Abuja, has written strong letters to INEC chairman, to the police, that Igbeke did not win, that this is forgery. It is consequent of this denial, or how will I say it? It is consequence of these people saying that what Igbeke has used to approach the court is forgery. That the police now charged him to court and wanted him for forgery. Of which was vacated, he said, so that is correct. Yeah. And then it was vacated because after Ibeke forged this and got his dubious judgment that declared him the candidate, the same Ibeke now went to the same judge that gave him judgment,
Justice
Kafarati, and asked him to give him fundamental human right to protect so that police cannot invite him.